Welcome back, gang beasts, gangies, part-time entrepreneurs, full-time computer touchers, gardeners, uh, tradespeople, politicians, mechanical people, plumbers, carpenters, general remote workers, people who work in person. I guess here we are. So we're back once again for another daily leet code. The confines of time have honestly conspired against us. Seems as though AI technology is rapidly advancing faster than our genetics can keep up with. So, that being said, Mark, Susan, and the local colleagues at Dopamine et al. Have got us in their clutches. That being said, the only option left is for the people to go to their local store and buy the newest product, lock in, get some tape for your eyelids. In fact, you might want to get 2, 3, maybe even 4 iPhones, fit them together. That way you can scroll all 4 at the same time. That's what I'm working on recently, so that might be the best way to optimize the zonking machine. That being said, it remains unclear if our current LeetCode regimen can withstand the brunt of Mark and Susan's plan. So I have to find a way to figure it out. That being said, I'm trying a new planning application. I don't usually plan anything or organize anything ever. Maybe that's part of the problem. So I'm trying to use an app called Use Motion. Apparently, it's supposed to do automatic AI planning, but I think it's just AI rescheduling. So I'm trying that. Hopefully, it's an absolute banger. Maybe it's not. If it's not, we might be screwed. I think I spawned with a build IRL in my IRL avatar. I think I've tried my best to min-max this build. I think the build is pretty good so far, but it's kind of dog in other places. So we're going to need some augmentations. How exactly we augment this, I'm not exactly certain. I honestly think we're in uncharted territory. So maybe this goes back to what we were saying a long time ago. Simply impossible to abuse dopamine and reach one's goal. Maybe we have to go even more monk mode. But that is also kind of dog. Actually, not that dog. Once you get used to it, it's pretty fine. But then once you get a taste, it's like living in a room that's dark. After a while, you get used to it, and you can see it. You can get your stuff done. Then once the door cracks a little bit, it kind of resets your eyes tolerance. Now it's kind of strange to be in the dark again, even though you spent more time in the dark than not. A strange analogy. All to say, who knows where we go from here. Maybe the issue I'm having is literally just a planning differential in the prefrontal cortex. Maybe it's just a diff in application use, or maybe it's just a planning and organizational diff. So things actually aren't going awful, to be honest. I think they're going okay, but I guess I'd like them to be going better. I'm making progress on the things that I guess I need to do, or the things that are obviously providing some sort of internal good that's reinforcing whatever I'm doing here every day. But in terms of other things, I'm struggling with consistency. For example, the game dev thing. So I'm wondering, yeah. So maybe it's just a planning diff. I'm gonna try and get my planning and organizational skills up, and hopefully that'll make a difference. Maybe if I have to think less about what I'm doing, if I think less about what I'm doing, my mind will wander less, thus helping me focus on the task. Now maybe I'll just do less mind wandering so we can actually get things done. I also probably avoid getting overwhelmed, task paralysis, and all that stuff. So I'm hoping Maybe it's just a planning diff. So maybe we've maxed out the build as far as we can. We're getting diminishing returns by putting too many points into other stats. Now we need to put points into maybe organizational skills. Maybe that will have a bigger payoff, or maybe it'll have, maybe even better, it'll have a multiplying effect. So maybe we can go even further. So yeah, just thoughts and whatnot. Yeah, we truly have some economies of scale in regards to dopamine. It's actually pretty crazy. So honestly, we may be screwed. Someone has to say it. Dopamine slaps. Dopamine. If I can have an IV drip of dopamine straight into my veins, that would be pretty dope. But we probably wouldn't move at all, right? Like a lot of the mouses in those studies. So I'm wondering. This is gonna sound nutty. Maybe we can just do some reframing. And I think reframing actually kind of works in a weird way. But yeah, I'm speaking very generally without giving too many specifics or for different reasons. But that being the case, we have some LeetCode to do. Yesterday, I'm not gonna lie, we're kind of the medium slayer. I think we cooked 2 mediums back to back. Kind of fire, especially a good thing to feel after getting cooked by foursome for 2 weeks. But I believe we can make a difference going forward, since we got to solve 2 problems. So that's always a feel strong, man. I'm honestly thinking that going forward we're probably gonna get stuck on another problem, but that's okay. I feel pretty good that we were able to do 2 problems in one session, which definitely is an increase in something, even though I'm not exactly certain what. So I think we'll just keep going, make progress on mediums. So today we have locked in divide 2 integers. It already looks like it's going to be pressing because, let's be honest, it's a lot of text, and the amount of downvotes is mind melting. So we're gonna try divide 2 integers. If it gets crazy, I'm just gonna quit. We're just gonna straight up log off. So let's see what we get here. So given 2 integers, dividend, given 2 integers, dividend and divisor. Given 2 integers, dividend and divisor. Dividend is what you get at the end of dividing 2 things, and divisor is what you're dividing by. Given 2 integers, dividend and divisor. Divide 2 integers without using multiplication, division, and the mod operator. Integer division should truncate towards 0, which means losing its fractional part. For example, 8.345 would be truncated to 8. Negative 2.7335 would be truncated to negative 2. Return the quotient. Okay, never mind. I think the quotient is actually what you get after dividing them both. The divisor and the dividend is actually the target of the division. Assume we are dealing with an environment that could only store integers within the 32-bit signed integer range, negative 2 to 31 to 2 to 31 minus 1. For this problem, if the quotient is strictly greater than 2 to the 31 minus 1, then return 2 to the 31 1. And if the quotient is less than it, basically clamp in 32-bit range after work. So we're saying, right, that we have a dividend 10 divides by 3. The output should be 3 because 3 goes into 10. 3.33 times, which is truncated to 3. We should divide two integers without using multiplication, division, and mod operator. I think we could just count up to it, right? The time complexity would be crazy. You could say value equals 0. Say quotient equals 0. We'll say while value is less than quotient, while value is less than dividend, you could say value plus equal divisor quotient plus equal 1. We have to clamp it at the end. Couldn't we just return quotient? We equal it, we wouldn't do another one. So if we should equal quotient, otherwise it should equal quotient minus 1. Let's see if this makes any sense at all. Can't use multiplication, division, mod. Can't use multiplication. Wait, I think I did this wrong. We're getting TLE because we're literally not finishing the loop. Inescapable. We pretty much want to do a thing where we calculate the quotient by counting how many times we can add a number to a value till it passes the divisor. If that's the case, and the value divisor can be negative or not, a bit more malleable. If divisor is less than 0, you should get the value of divisor. Otherwise, you should get the value of 0. That means divisor is positive. So this way, check. For example, divisor is 3. We can do 1, 2, 3, and 4 would take us over. This could still take a ridiculously long time, though. Oh, right. And when we add the divisor, it should be math.absolute. Here we'll do a thing if dividend less than 0 and divisor less than quotient, we'll just make it positive. Similarly, if just divisor less than 0 or dividend, well, dividend can also be less than 0, so this doesn't make any sense. Could also make this absolute value. So it seems to work in this case. We didn't do the clamping part yet, but I'm gonna add a couple more test cases. If positive, positive, negative, positive. What about negative, negative, and negative, positive? Okay, so it seems to work. So if quotient is greater than 0, we want to take the math.max. No, we want to take the smaller of the two values. First one will be quotient itself, or 2 to the 32nd. And here we want to do the math.max of quotient or negative. Wait, how does this one not work? Value would be equal to 0. Divisor is equal to 1. A value plus equal 1. And then quotient plus equal 1. Value, which is 0, would be less than the absolute value. Oh, so we are getting 1 up here. Oh. So here value is 0. 0 is less than -1. Quotient does equal 1. Quotient should stay quotient. This is depressing. Yeah, some of these, oof. There was one that we did that got us. One that we did that got us. Past like almost every single test case. Actually, there's a much faster way we can do this now that I'm thinking about this. We'll keep this bit in here. Then just turn this into a for loop. So this version, instead of actually counting up using individual threes, we'll just use 3 times 10 to the x power up to 8, and then add those values like that. So say if value that's the case, we can switch this around. We'll say if dividend, if num is less than dividend, less than or equal to dividend, that means we can decrease it. I'm gonna say value plus equal math.absolute value. Actually, don't even have to keep track of value now that I'm thinking about it. Example of this would be if dividend is 30, divisor is 3, eventually we'll get down to 10 to the 1th power. We'll say 3 times 10 to the 1 gives us 30. 30 is less than or equal to dividend. That. Those n times. Subtract number from it. If we actually don't have to do any of this stuff here, actually. Can't go over, it means it's not a whole number, so that's actually okay, I think. Doesn't make any sense. Why are we off by 1? I uncomment this, they all fail except the first one. I just realized this whole version wouldn't work because I mean, we're using multiplication, not allowed. We will swap it for some version of bit manipulation, but this is a little nonsensical. So yeah, I think we'll be back tomorrow.